DA wins their second game of the day, and what a hell of a way to start it off. 2 wins in 2 different maps so far. Now they just need to get one home on Rankle 2, and I think they'll be all set.
Yeah, and Mert was doing absolute work that game.
Yeah.
I saw him ripping people just off the map with that 6xM4. But we've seen CIS pretty much dominate so far, and it's nice to see perhaps an unlikely contender from the EMEA region in DA.
Yeah, at least an unexpected one, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was essentially the battle of the giants in that game. It was, I think, Mert came into it with 6 kills, and DB had 6 kills as well. So two of the main heavy hitters of that match, and we're also getting to square it off in the finals, or in the final showdown there. So interesting way to finish off. Also, the third shift, hard shifting back towards Picardo. Not only did we not expect it, but given the fact that there were like 2 people inside that circle, I don't think the players really expected either. There were some tough rotations coming in that way.
Yeah, I love a bit of chaos in these duos, and I think that was pretty much that was the chaos circle we could have got. And it threw people off. Like you could see
massively,
people
massive.
like dying on rotations. People just driving straight into the wrong people. And I think we had like 6-7 teams eventually get into Picardo, and then it just became this mess about.
They had to get out of
who
there
was
again.
the last one out. Yeah.
The teams that never overcommitted. I mean, also I think it was Unactive almost somehow surviving through that crater. I mean, he took out Chris, and I was like, wait. Is he actually going to survive this? At one point, there was like 3 teams just pinning him down inside, and he just kept shooting back as if it was like 3 squads altogether. But unfortunately, it didn't quite go his way. We'll get to see the scoreboard here from the previous game. 9 kills on a chicken dinner for Digital Athletics. DA, a little more like DA PogChamps, securing themselves a ton of points with that win.
Yeah, Skaters as well with a pretty decent game for themselves. Turkish duo, another Turkish duo doing quite well in this.
Yeah.
And back to lobby, another team we have to highlight from the EMEA region. They've not necessarily had these massive games where they've come out and they've won all the time, but they're sort of grinding away those 6-7 point games, and it's starting to push them up the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean that's kind of the same thing they did in group stages. Never really had those big flashy wins. They just continuously managed to find their way into the late game. Never really had a lot of kills, but it was the placements that grinded them through. And you can see they're the only team right now, other than DA, I feel like, that has a massive difference in placement points.
Yeah, but we look at it's still a 7-point gap if I can do maths up to their 4th place.
Yeah.
But I mean that top 4 is ridiculous. It goes 6 points. Like that's what is that? That's 2nd place. Or it's like 3 gunfights that go your way. So there's still all to play for, particularly for those top spots. But I'm looking even all the way down to like reciprocity. 1 win now, and coming into the last 2 Wrangle matches, even they will have a chance.
No. I mean, this kind of goes to show the fact that DA can pick up 2 wins here and still not sit in first. I mean, they had a somewhat quiet day 1, and then also it's surprisingly so, it's been somewhat top-heavy in a tournament where the average level is so damn high. I mean, it's the same teams that not every time, but for quite a while has gone out and delivered, and to me that's insanely impressive and also surprising, just given the fact that I cannot name one team. Like if you took every single duo here and you said, Toby, can these guys win this game? I would say yes to probably around 31 or 32 of them. Yeah,
I mean, they're all capable of doing some absolutely insane things. I mean, the mechanical skill in the lobby is just ridiculously high, first off. I mean, all of them have reams of competitive experience as well, so they know like the structure and the strategic style of the game. So it's just all about who turns up on the day, who is more confident, who is feeling more ready, who's better warmed up. And we've seen certain teams like DA, they've come into this day hot. 2 wins now. I mean, I don't think the game 2 was very good, but I mean, if you have 2 good games out of 3, I mean, you're loving that.
You're getting pretty well satisfied with it. Circle goes down to the southwestern side. We've seen these quite a few times by now. Sometimes they go up and end around the church where Loss is, and up and around the Chumacera area, and sometimes they throw you a curveball and go all the way over west towards, just on the northern side of Valle del Mar. So as we can see with the plane path going kind of diagonal, there's going to be a ton of traffic coming from the Los Leones, or like east to northeastern side of the circle, pushing in towards it. And I would look to see teams avoid Picardo and essentially avoid San Martin as well. And then the only real option you have is to go all the way over roller treatment in order to go in, or go all the way around the shorelines on the southern side.
Yeah, there's always this sort of hatred of doing a direct rotation on Miramar. Like all these teams that are sort of, not necessarily all the way up to Azal, but your San Martins, maybe it's slightly less so, but like Minas, particularly in this circle,
Mm.
they never just want to go through the middle of the map. They always want to go round, but you end up actually with like a really empty middle map. And like the
Yeah.
southeastern, the northwest of this map will get really busy. So I'm looking for those sort of 2-3 teams that have the confidence to just say, you know what, everyone else is going to do that rotation. We'll just go through the middle. Just go take one of the good positions. Yet if you can get towards the north edge of Chubasera, like up on the hills, suddenly you're in a really strong spot. A, for scouting, and B, you're going to be pretty much dead center.
So Mika securing himself a kill on towards Test. That's, of course, unfortunate way to go down early. They were sharing a compound, but only until they both had guns, and then the UMP prevailed. How often do you see that?
I mean, it's a fairly rare one. It's a laser, but it's one of those lasers you can buy in the store that you sort
It's
of...
a BB gun laser.
Yeah, you know the things you use with cats? That you,
Oh, yeah, they put like the red dots,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Pretty much one of those, because it does absolutely no damage whatsoever.
NBS has found one as well. It's the UMP with 10 bullets versus the Mini. Oh, my lord, with one bullet he gets the knock.
Oh,
And he didn't even have a secondary gun. He
Oh,
did not even have a
sick.
secondary weapon. I like the fact that he punches him. Not only is it a little BM, but also he didn't have a vest on himself, so he can take his vest.
Yeah, but he punched him in the vest all the time, so look at the HP.
I don't think you can punch vests.
I'm pretty sure you can. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
I know if you
think
headshot someone with a
vests-
punch, it damages their helmet. So I would assume it does it the same on a vest.
I've actually never tested that. I wouldn't think.
But you know,
that it
like the
makes
Superman
take
punches
damage.
that you can do. If you do that on someone with a helmet, it damages the
Oh,
helmet.
it takes damage to the
Yeah.
helmet. Okay, makes sense. DA, they have found our current top team of the day, Mithralius and Mert. Trying to hold off. Liquid, has found them. It's they have a chance to continue. And it seems like Team C stopped to look out and make sure that Ibiza could continue forward, and now that's seems to be the case.
Yeah, we saw last game, Liquid got stuck in that compound. I mean, it wasn't in the circle, it was like a decent position, but they made sort of an early rotation like they're doing now, and it really didn't pay off. But that was because they went for that split that we see them do so often, and one of them got knocked. And like that is if that happens, and the other team, like the team that knocks you, knows you're one of the teams that splits.
Yeah.
I mean, if you knock one of the players in Liquid in phase one, you know the other guy's not there. So that was when we saw Mika and Itzkris just run straight towards it, just go for the kill, and it got Liquid killed. So I wonder if they're going to maybe change it up, just stay as a duo. Sort of maybe you can stay a little bit split, but don't get as split as we see them do in some games where they're like 200-300 meters away from each other.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call because they have done it in a lot of games, and it's worked out as many times as it has. And Gaxi does find teams though now, and as you say, where is he? Being nowhere near. So despite the pull-up being a good idea in terms of the compound being a good spot in the circle, teams are already there, and Teams goes down, and now it's up to Ibiza to try and see what he can salvage this game.
It's just I don't want to say arrogance. Arrogance is the wrong word, but it's almost greed from them. I feel where they have a good position where Ibiza is. Like it's not amazing, but it's decent. And they decide, you know what, we'll have two, and then they go and send the other guy off, and it's getting them killed quite a lot. And I think really that's like in the group stage they could sort of get away with it because they were, like the quality wasn't quite as high as it is now. But now they're into these finals. All these teams know exactly what you do. All these teams are people that play against them regularly, so they know that they split. They know that they love to go 1-1, and they just punish it.
Thinking back at it, to be fair, I think the group stage level was almost as high as this, which is all top-tier players throughout the entire thing. Also think about all the pro players that we don't see from the group stage of CIS that didn't make it through, right? Mithralius and Mert, they're under fire. Bisa trying to hold them off. Don't think he has any intentions of pushing down towards them, but now we'll see. I mean, whenever Teams was left alone, he likes to still play aggressive and go hunt for kills. I'm curious to see how Ibiza decides to play this one out.
Yeah, but it worked really well for James, and I think it's generally something you can do quite successfully in duos, where you can go for those 1v2s, and as long as you're the one engaging the fight, you're the one getting the drop on the other team. Yes, it works because you can turn it into a 1v1, and then it's all about just 50-50 who wins the gunfight. But if you're the one getting aggressed on in a 1v2, it becomes really difficult.
Yeah, Tizerin and Minox, they secure themselves a point off of 16 Minox to secure themselves points on towards Tizerin. Amorous is still alive, and I thought he was going to drive away, but now he's actually stopped this vehicle. Maybe he wants to get another angle to try and engage the 1v2, I'm not quite sure. And I'm looking at that crate down towards Minas del Sur. Do you think that's any indication of where the game will go?
I wish.
2 southern hard shifts in a row?
I remember back, I think it was Wingman 7, we had one end on the coast, like to the west of Higos, but like literally on the edge. Like the center of the circle was like a meter away from the water.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was such a mess, but it was so much fun to watch.
I remember seeing that. That was pretty damn chaotic. Timmy and Noki, they're miles out of the circle. They're in a hurry. They found the meds they need to do a slow rotation. Iroh is making his way in. I'm looking for Buyukai. Where is he?
That is a very good question.
Iroh,
think
where's
he's
your
dead.
brother?
Or he's disconnected.
Well, either called up quick up there as well, and then you have Rax and his teammate up there as well. I mean, gotta give it to back to lobby. Imam and Rax. They are probably the team in this tournament that surprised me the most. They're not a team that I expected to. I mean, I don't know. Group stages are tricky, but they're not a team that I had my eyes on thinking they can pull off something big in the group stages. And coming into the finals, they really weren't a team that I was expecting to be up there. But now I believe they're sitting in third place overall, so or fourth place. Pretty damn decent performance from them.
Yeah, but Amon's a player with a lot of experience. Rax
Oh, yeah.
as well. I think he was on
Alternate
at one
attacks,
point.
yep.
Yeah, Amon's played in.
Ow.
That's literally the perfect nade by Krabik there.
On
Like
his
gonna go
feet.
down. I assume to this nade.
Yeah. Nope, that bounced a bit too far. One more. You could also just peek something. Oh, now he's going to kill himself. Isn't that ironic?
That's a revenge for knocking Micah, but yeah, Buster should be able to get the kills here. Actually, Compot steals it.
He steals both of them. Oh, come on, bro. We sacrificed so
He
many
was running
nades
so
and
far.
Krabik died. And Buster had the full-on wide flank there.
Buster
Now he
might
might
go
actually
here.
go down as well. Oh, one more attack should do it.
We had 2 bullets left.
Seems
Compot,
like-
why do you reload?
Seems like he makes it to safety somehow. Circle does center up towards the Chimacera side of things, and in squads, I like to talk about this area of the map that the Circle just shifted. You'll see it in just a moment. How you have an entire block that is essentially unplayable.
Yeah, the middle, right?
Yeah, and I mean, essentially, well, more like the north middle. But now you have a. I mean, I want to see it's even less playable when you're in solos. Oh, in duos, I mean, as compared to.
I mean, you can't do
squads.
anything except take the houses. In the sort of. That was perfectly cooked. Literally perfectly cooked by Ival. But look at his HP. He's so low. I think it's actually Reckon's teammate supporting him.
Even the.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There's not much he can do there. I expect he's just going to have to leave it and go, yeah, Ival gets the flush. So
This is a situation where even Gordon Ramsay would probably give him a compliment and not scream at him and curse at him.
well, because of how well cooked it was.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Mhm.
perfect. I mean, maybe even what do you say? Have a little tear drop from his eye. Just pure umami and gourmet joy of cooking. Howtocooknades.com.
I don't think Gordon Ramsay's a weirdo. So
You think
not.
Gordon Ramsay's a weirdo?
I said I don't.
Oh.
So I don't think he'd maybe that. I don't think he'd
He
be
probably
quiet.
is a
but-
weirdo.
No, he seems like a pretty sound guy. I'd like
Yeah.
to meet him. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Does he have a restaurant you can go to? Where you
Yeah,
work
I mean, Hell's
sometimes?
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go eat there. You'll meet him.
Yeah, and just get shouted at.
Go eat there and say something
that's
bad
gotta
about
be-
his
yeah.
food and get some TV time.
That's got to be on your bucket list. Get shouted at by Gordon Ramsay.
Ival, he is going to go down in return though, so despite us complimenting him, seems like he ran into trouble elsewhere. Yanis is able to find the kill smash, able to take down both the guys from Instant
BSD
Wildcats as well, but they
wiped
took
the
out
first.
them as well.
I
That's a full trade there.
wonder if he dropped a nade on his feet.
Or else he just threw it at the exact
yeah,
same time. So
traded.
they get eliminated and the other team gets eliminated too.
I mean, it's not every day you see a trade at PUBG, things you can't actually do it with the guns. So.
Look at this area of the map. There are so damn many teams around here. Iroh tried to crash the compound. Orange Snow would have none of it, and he wasn't even inside the compound. He was in the on the far uphill side of things. There's 2 teams inside this one, Art and Sixy. I'm not sure exactly where Minix. Oh, Minix is in the warehouse in the northwestern side. There are so damn many players around here, and the only things you can play in that area is hardcover. Like, it is the compounds, it is the houses. There's really nothing else you can play.
I mean, this is a circle dominated by the hardcover in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many really good compounds, particularly in the north, like just northwest of Chumacero. We see Greg and Harrison's in one of them. Particularly Unity's compound up on the ridge is really nice. So it's a position where if you're trying to come into that area late game with people that are already set up in these compounds, it's just pretty much impossible. You need to find a way to like crash into one of them, try and wipe out the team that's in there, or at least grab a couple points before you go down.
4 teams around the same 1.5 compound. That's it's going to cause some chaos should the circle shift away from there, because I think they're all well aware that there's opponents right next door. And the fact that we have 47 players live coming to Circle 3 in a duos tournament in this area of the map, that bodes for chaos. I mean, no matter where the circle goes, so many players will be out. Even if it does shift north, you will
I
have
to go south just to screw with everyone. Because imagine how many people are going to go, oh, it's sort of, we're going to finish.
We still get the majority of players inside, but I'm thinking for Monkey, for Crowcraft, for all these players that are currently outside, they won't just go straight south. And you might even be better off wrapping all the way in around west. Honestly, you have to go now because you only have 45 seconds before it starts closing in.
Then there's always the problem.
The wide wrap.
All those teams on the north side, they have absolutely no idea what's free. I mean, you can expect.
Oh, zero clue.
Yeah, you can expect the area sort of between Monty and Chumacera is going to be fairly busy because those compounds are really nice. But like in this, are you thinking that teams have gone for that wide western rotation that we're talking about in phase 1 and come up on the Ladry area hill already? Are you thinking that maybe they've gone around the owns to come out on the southeast side? So you're trying to plan ahead, like where do you think is going to be free? And we see there's sort of this funnel towards Chumacera that the reciprocity have tried to find, but not quite got in safely.
Rax pushed out, 60 spots shift from above, and now, Rax actually goes down too, but Monkey gets traded immediately after. Oh, the timing. Had he had just one bullet faster, my mom would have been able to get the nog on towards him before Rax had gone down, but now Shiv knows the nog is there. That nade is going to be literally on his feet. Good night, Rax.
It's such a congested area of the map right now. There's just northern, like this tiny little area you can see on the mini-map in the bottom right. We've got like 6-7 teams within about 200 meters of each other.
Scoop prone in the middle of it all. Just, is there room for another one here?
He's watching a film.
Found a little shadow spot to prone it out, because his vehicle right there is probably the one blowing up the pickup truck. Not an easy spot to be in at all. Coldamenta and Quick, they are doing the wide western wrap. I like this play. Now, how far underneath do they go, though? That, to me, is the kind of deciding factor, because if they try to come all the way around, then it might be them dead. Pokemolodoi does go down. Kemba gets found in return, though. Battlein is there for the trade, and now Best of Luck will be coming over at some point soon, maybe for a little nade first, just see if you can get something for free, and that's going to fly way far.
My expectation is Racer Edge are going to try and come up along the road, and because obviously we see the compound on the southwest is clear. Obviously they don't know, but I mean, if they can get there, suddenly they're in actually a pretty decent position in the circle. This is fighting easy, and it's such a tough spot. They're obviously the CIS winners.
And Gaxi gets the kill onto Monkey. I mean,
somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Where the hell did that come from? Battlein finds Best of Luck as well. Kemba gone down too. It's going to be the double elimination, and Team Groupie managing to stay alive through that one. Will have to push themselves further towards the circle, but they should still have their vehicles and an opportunity to push across. Now, where do they go, though?
I mean, they have that compound on the western edge that they can use as sort of a staging post. When you go there and you look around.
Yeah, you stop there to scout for the forward, I guess.
It's not somewhere you ever want to stay, but you from there, you can move onto the sort of the western edge of Chumacera, like on the ridges. They could sort of safely stay up.
If this next circle goes away from the north, I mean, we can lose like 7 or 8 teams pretty much to the blue if they don't start fighting each other soon.
Well, that's on.
Nate takes out Nogi. At least takes him further down in his bleeding. Would assume that he's going to be down and out in just a moment, and Aliyah and come, but they're sending it.
Yeah, we've seen the circle has gone northeast, so a lot of these teams now that maybe were a bit worried about having to move to the next circle, suddenly they're in.
Yeah.
So there's less of a rush to commit to these gunfights. They can take their time, be a bit more methodical about it, but it does look like DA going to come in and try and clean up at some point. I mean, I would love to see them do it, because suddenly they have the whole eastern side to themselves if they can.
Right now we have Tempo Storm written all over the kill feed. Combat and Aliyah fighting on the northern side. Example and Millman, they're fighting down in and around the more industrial area of Chumacera up in the hills, securing themselves kills, both of them. Timmy's still alive, and DA has to push in towards the circle as well. Circle did shift north, so Ratio Edges, 6C and Menox, they're outside. They need to push in, and then you have Art kind of holding off of them in the north as well. And then, well, I mean, as you can see, Coldamenta and Quick, they need to make their way forward here to... Ooh, that need. Does it bounce far? Does it bounce right? Yes, it does. Great throw by Aliyah. Aliyah is a fun story of how a player went from playing with Swamp to then being kind of unsigned, where Aliyah had one role on that team, to then get picked up by a bigger team in Tornado Energy, fill a new role, but also managed to do that really well, and now is considered one of the, I mean, honestly, like probably on a top 10 list in the CIS players currently.
Yeah, Tornado have been a consistent sort of powerhouse and at least contenders, but they've never quite made that step up. They're sort of starting to make it now, after a while, but I mean, I think with that addition of Aliyah, it turned the team into what was pretty decent, but not amazing, into a team that is genuinely a threat to everyone.
Yeah, it's funny because while he was playing on Swamp, he was always the flanker. He was always the one to get the off angle. But now they kind of use him as a spearhead, in a sense, to do some of these engagements. Let's see, quick pushing forward. Oh my lord! That's called the mentor with the angle on towards Millman. Example does find quick though. Colton needs to heal. Will that buy him the time to get the res up? Nope, not gonna happen. Example finds both, and that's gonna be Ratio edge down and out. Millman able to get the rest back on up.
The Tornado duo are just working their way through Chumacera at the minute. They
Yeah.
started out on the outside and they fought their way through 2 teams now, but suddenly they need to get onto the bottom side of Chumacera. They have no vehicles to do that either, so they have to run down completely in the open, all the way into Mizu and Lost. And I don't really see a way that they do it, but maybe with a lot of utility and a lot of luck.
Maybe they just stay with a lot of ships going in that direction. We won't know until about 50 seconds from now. Edelweiss does find Hirosen. He's gonna go down and out. Still is finding R2. So a lot of these solos on the northern side getting eliminated, and we are, well, slowly but steadily making our way towards the placement points. 60 by himself, lost Minax just before. He spots out Edelweiss, not able to do any damage. Oh my, ow. That's a headshot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough spot for 60. He's got a duo on the north, a duo on the south. There's not really any way he can
Blue
go.
pushing him forward.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to find a knock quick. Otherwise, I think this is all she wrote for 60 in this game. Wow,
Why
so
did you
close.
say that? That's guaranteed to be a healing person. He
Nah,
knows
Edelweiss
it.
gonna peek.
But he still peaks?
I mean, I think you have to in this situation, because if he doesn't peak, then suddenly Sadovnik's in a 1v1. So,
True.
I mean, he can delay it. So he gets the hit off now. You can sort of delay it and wait for 60 to push in the open and then re-peak. But if he just goes for it straight away, he forces 60 to stay in the blue, forces him to be low, and then one more bullet, Edelweiss gets the kill. 60 goes down.
Just exactly outside in the blue. That does get eliminated. NIP, Gaxi and Silas as well, pushing up towards the barcode team. They find Gaxi immediately. Silas still down the hill with a chance to make a hero play. But as you can see, he's all by himself, and Gaxi's just been flushed. So it's going to be a tricky one for him. He's been spotted out now as well. Oh my lord. Just a little off there. Hit the top of the ridge line rather than the bullets traveling further down. Scoopy's still prone.
I
He
don't
forgot
think
the
Silas got
circle
long
shift
to live,
away.
but this might be perfect. Shiv. Oh, he actually gets him as well.
Yeah, he takes Silas
Oh.
too. He's just killing everything on that side of the circle.
Grabs his second kill there. So a nice bit of work from Shiv to grab 2 quick points.
As a solo player as
Yeah.
well, it's always tricky, especially when you're outside the circle, to know whether or not you want to really commit to that finish off, or well, commit to try and take the engagement when you have a chance to push for the forward yourself. He's spotted. Mom, yep. See him on the right side. It's going to allow for him to push further forward, though. He's a little far away, and now he does start shooting. Mom is much, much closer to the circle. As you can see, Shiv kind of far out, and Scoopy is right behind him, and he has absolutely no idea.
Yeah, but Scooby's finally starting to move. He
Yeah.
stood up for the first time in about 4
He
cycles.
reconnected.
Yeah. The film's ended.
Wait, I'm alive?
Oh, he's probably playing a different game on like another screen. He's just gone back to it. Just
Oh, that's
realised
what it
he's
is.
still going.
Yeah, could be.
But now he needs to move. But I'm looking at this, and how congested that Chumas area. We've got
Hmm.
over half the lobby is just in Chumasera fighting their way. And as soon as that goes north, all those teams stuck on the south are going to be in such a tough spot.
It is not going to be easy at all. If this one shifts away, as you said, I mean, if it does go to the east or the north, it's going to be not escape from Tarkov, but escape from Chumacera. And I think a lot of teams, not all but one, will get eliminated.
I think you're expecting like 5-6 teams to go down in Chumasera if that happens.
Yup. Also because a vast majority of them has to get down from this hillside that we see right here.
I mean, there's only one way down. It's completely open. So if anyone's watching that, you're gone,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Look at that. Mum went to the compound, trying to hold off Shiv. He found Snoopy instead. And now Shiv is actually on the inside of the circle from Mum after that fight has started. He managed to push around the side. He's now on the inside by himself. As you can see, fight's escalating. Mum does find Shiv though. Unfortunately for Shiv, he does get eliminated. So Mum able to push further forward, and again back to lobby in situation where he loses racks early on, able to continue to grind points, and now he's just 2 placements away from placement points.
And if they can have another 5-6 point game, they're going to be slowly climbing their way up, clambering towards the top 5 and putting themselves in a position where in a wrangle, if they have one of those blowout games finally, they could be one of the teams challenging for the win.
If this one goes out of Chumacera on any side, he's golden. I mean, he has so much room to wiggle on the northern side. And okay, yeah, Combat and Aliyah, they must have heard the shots fired north between him and Shiv. And you can see Combat is looking around in that direction now as well. I think the only way you can push this is north around. I I mean, actually over towards the ridge where Combat is. You cannot go into the city at this point. You
Yeah,
know,
the-
you know for a fact with 22 alive in this circle that city is packed because everything but that city and the 2 compounds on the east, there's just nothing you can really play there. I mean, like, you can have 1, maybe 2 teams there. Then you have another 18. I wonder where they are.
I'm not sure how doable it is, but if he could get to the shack, sort of on that northern edge,
Yeah, it's not-
if he could somehow find a
That's
way,
not gonna happen.
that's going to be a placement points guaranteed. But yeah, I just don't see a way he can do it.
No, he's gonna wait it out. Hope that Combat is gonna push down earlier, and maybe. No, that's a smoke grenade scene. Unfortunate. They know now, and he's gonna get shot at as well from above. Wait, actually, that's not him. That's Battleline shooting though. Oh no, it is Edelweiss shooting.
Yeah, I think
shooting
Battling was
towards,
shooting over an active.
But Mum finds Edelweiss. That's massive. If he can push up to his position, he has to go right now though because the blue is pushing. If he can get Edelweiss's position, there's not a lot to play from there. But just by sitting up there, he's going to be so much closer to the circle. And all these teams that have to push down from the hill inside the city, I mean, he's going to be in placement points guaranteed off of that push.
Yeah, and he might be able to grab an extra kill or two as all those
Holy
people sort of get congested into the tiny bit left of Chumacera.
Yeah.
So if he can catch people trying to make a run, then I mean, you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 more points.
And this is, to me, the art of, I want to say, proper duos play. When you're in a situation where you just have nothing, like literally nothing going your way, and you still manage to get X amount of points off of it, that is very impressive. Page does go down. We're down to 10 teams. As I said, the longer Mum stays alive, the better. Now he does get eliminated, but that's a solid 2 placement points right there. And I don't think he's going to be complaining about it at all. I mean, they were in a situation where Rex went down early. They had 1 kill at the time, I think. And now they're looking at what I believe to be a 5-point game instead.
Yeah, I mean, that kill on Edelweiss was actually worth 3 points.
It was massive.
Yeah,
It was
got all
massive.
those placement points and obviously the kill point. So
Yeah.
it was a really big kill for Imam.
Exactly. Very, very impressive play by him. Oh, you can see DB. I mean, they're looking at all the windows right now. They are still inside the circle, but they kind of have to start planning that route of getting down here somehow. They can still technically push around the southeastern side, but first of all, Amorous is there, and second of all, I think the DA guys will have eyes on
Yeah,
them
it's completely
for the
exposed.
entire rundown. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there is that sort of the big pipe that you can follow.
Yeah.
And if you can use smokes, you can sort of survive. Yeah, maybe a circle extra, a couple extra placement points. But I mean, I say that you need to have a lot of utilities to even have a chance of doing that.
Yeah, he does have 3 smokes, DB, but that's only going to get you like 1/5 of the way there.
You could just get the circle. That also works.
Yeah, you can stay inside. You can chill on your mountain top, and now you get a chance to hold on some of the teams out to the east.
Yeah, the DA team that obviously we've seen them win 2 out of 3 today so far. It looks like they're in a bit of a tough spot. They did get a knock earlier onto Yanis, so if they can get a second one, Havana's going to be forced to go for that res really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And then DA maybe can get into the compound and suddenly have a third good game of the day.
Oh, I didn't even notice that Nellis isn't in the game, unless if they keep changing names.
No, Havana's an actual player. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's from Vendetta. Okay.
venerated, but yeah.
Australians debating me.
I think actually
Venerated,
he
yeah.
either does or used to play with Micah. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen the name before as well. Venerated. Yeah, I've even casted them.
I know they're playing Meister Shaft.
Oh, the ESL League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amorous has to push forward from the south side as well. This is always fun. I always thought that adrenaline syringes or adrenaline shots in this game was use them when you pick it up type thing. But surprisingly many keep them for late game. But they take up more space than you could get full.
Yeah, you can get full boosted for less.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it's actually most efficient to just carry energy drinks, right?
well, it just takes more time to.
Yeah,
but
it's more space efficient, I should say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
because
it's more time consuming.
yeah, because 3 energy drinks gets you full boosted, whereas you need 2 painkillers, and 2 painkillers weighs more than 2 energy drinks. So.
There's no way in hell Mithraelius and Mert survive this one. They're getting pushed now by Combat. And actually, Combat gets found by Mert. Mert once again. Last game as well was the one to secure the victory, and now, once more, able to stay alive through it. He won't be able to get up to Combat. I mean, DB is in the angle, like the position to hold him out. I think he might just be tanking this one.
Yeah, I think it's one of those heal and probably get an extra placement point,
Can't
but
get
no,
it
he's
off
going to go
phase
down.
7, yeah, exactly. Can't
Who
get
gets
it
it?
off phase. Oh,
With mana points.
oh, Senpai. Amorous pushes up from behind. Perfect timing on the third party. He was sneaky peeky making his way up. He knew Yanis and Havana was looking over towards what was going on with DA on the northeastern side. And Amorous times it absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, and just at that moment that he peeks to ridge, Hello Senpai and Pin start lighting up. It was a DP, so
Oh, it was perfect, yeah,
it was-
exactly.
I mean, it wasn't intentional by him, but it worked out perfectly. And now that's what, like a 2-point kill at least.
But he was about to start shooting, and then he held back when he saw that DP was starting to take damage, and he said, well, if they can knock one for me, that's absolutely perfect. And then once he got knocked, he had the angle on the other. Very, very, I mean, of course, it's very fortunate that that a player gets knocked there, but it's just very, very smart play. Two Emeralds now pushing back down the hill, and this time around, I don't think he'll be as incognito.
Yeah, I think Yanis is aware of the fact that he's there. It looks like Havana's looking towards that direction as well. So whether maybe he can get down to the road, and I don't think they quite have vision from where they are. If he's sort of prone on the right and the south edge, but trying to get there is the tough part.
Yes.
I don't see a way that you can really make that run down.
You can see Beast, he's figuring, okay, so I have two smokes. How do I throw them to stay alive for the longest time possible? Now he's nading as well. They do grant a little bit of cover, but Misa has the off angle on the side, and there was absolutely no way in hell that he was getting out of there alive. Misa to secure the kill from the side, and this is just, you know what, get lucky, get the compounds inside the circle, and unfortunately for Ibiza, he didn't.
Yeah, but the fact that he lost team so early, to turn that into a 5th place, yes, he only got 1 kill, but it's still a decent point still. And they are one of the teams in the top 10. So they're not doing as well as we might expect, but they're still doing a pretty good job.
Also, keep in mind, there's only 2 games left after this one, right? So,
But as we were saying with Back to Lobby, how they're grinding out those decent performances. They're not having the blowouts, but when something goes wrong, they turn it around and they get a couple points from it. That's exactly what AB just did, and exactly why they're in the top 16 at the minute.
Yeah, current first place team eliminated in 4th as well. Noctiv couldn't really get a whole lot more done there. Now we have G2, any Crowders, and Hal Zemba and Pin's team over on the western side. And, well, I mean, they all have to go out in the open, but Yanis will be the last one to have to move.
Yeah, you have to think that the G2 duo are going to be the ones with the advantage, just because of the fact that they have that hard cover for so long. But
yeah, but
if
he doesn't have any windows
on
that side, does he?
He can go on the balcony and shoot from there on either side. Actually, no, I think there's only a balcony on one side on that build.
It's not a. It's
only
a one-story.
Yeah, it's a one-story. Yeah,
thingy,
that's a good point.
Like I call it the market.
I think it was one of the apartment buildings.
No. It's just a one-story. I call it market.
Yeah, it's the market building.
Or like bazaar.
Course,
yeah, exactly.
So the wall's not. I'm pretty sure the wall on that thing, there's gaps in it that you can shoot through. So they'll be using that. That was a nice little nade.
That's nasty. And I mean, you want to say it's so random, but you see these players throw them and hit them more often than not, and then you kind of go, well, I guess as random as it may seem, there's also math to it, and it's also prediction, and it's also, I mean, you have a guy in the broken wall, and there's only so much he can do. Havana does get found, but Loss is taken down before that nice peek around the corner.
And it's whether music can do anything, but it's also, can Senpai abuse the sort of the lack of information that G2 have, but I don't think they will. I mean, you have to expect G2 are going to win this one. They don't know where he is, but even if he gets a knock, you should expect the trade comes in.
And now they see him, they do have Molotovs still remaining. The only thing here is, as you can see, they're very limited in where they can get out of here without vaulting or having to jump over some sort of obstacle. And if Helm Senpai can maintain cover for long enough that he can force both of them to have to vault, then well, he might be in for a good finish here.
Yeah, and they don't have any nades left now as well, so it's all about who can spray it down, but they do get it in the end. Havana grabs the kill for the G2 duo. 4-kill win. Nothing massive, but it's still
they got
points.
3 or 4 kills in the very, very late game, so they only had 1 kill coming into the last, 30 seconds of the game. But again, I mean, they were in a position where they couldn't really push anywhere, and they were just lucky to have a lot of circles go to their compound. Because I think had they had to leave at any point, Misa and Lost, they were sitting holding them off. They had the teams further west of them trying to sit and hold them off as well. There was literally nowhere they could have gone had the circles not kept going to where the wolves.
Yeah, but as we always say, you have to maximize that luck you do get, and that's exactly what they did. They grabbed the win, grabbed the kills at the end as well to clear out the circle. So it was pretty much a perfect game for them.
Sure. And BS with 1 bullet left in the UMP managed to stay alive there. Jeans went down early as player number 3 of the game eliminated, and despite that, as you said, Ibiza still managed to find a decent placement point chunk in the game. It was a very, very, very interesting game.
It was straight.
Well, that was what happened. That's how they both eliminated each other. It bounced off of his head while he was vaulting. That's not something easy to offer.
This was a game dominated by really long-range grenades. We saw Ivals, we saw the one just there. I can't remember. Snoopy gets another one, and also right at the end, the Denny Crowder's nades. Clutch. There's nades all over the place.
Up like it's a nade recap. Essentially, that's these ones. I mean, this is what I love to see.
Yeah. I would like to see the nades changed, but it's still, I mean, the actual skill involved to throw all those nades is still really impressive.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It's a coward's way out, in my opinion.
You'll have to do it the honourable way. Face your enemies.
It's TPP and FPP in the sense that you don't have to look at your opponents. Like, you don't have to expose yourself in order to always get the damage. But it was an interesting game for sure. We will have 2 games on Erangel coming up to finish off the tournament and see who will be going away with $20,000. That is so damn much money for the first place team, and nothing's guaranteed so far. We'll have the leaderboards up after the break as well, guys. So stick around. We'll take a short one, and I'll be right back.